team, stuck. Hi 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 team, stuck.
will have to keep an eye on, especially after an initial mid-shove or a main control. Fancy have got a pretty slow comp outside of the burstiness of the KO and the Neon. Got things like Viper and Astra that are often going to be on a deep lurk. They've already seen Physio hanging around in spawn, so that's something they'll have to keep in the back of their mind. Knifing towards A main early on here for Fancy to try to deny some information to Trinity, and in the meantime, they're walking straight up through elbow.
Well, not anymore. Turning back around to have a look towards B. Not a whole lot of util here to try to slow things down, so 140 is just going to have to try to take the fight. It's the 1-for-1. But the fact that your B anchor has fallen like that is going to be a real problem. Physio also cutting off the rotates. They're a huge concern here for Trinity, who will lose another player in Santnas as well. With a tap on the defuse, but I don't know that that's really going to draw a whole lot out of Fancy at this point. Flash forward.
It's over. Salvo,
Yeah, I mean,
Salvo. But this is what we were talking about. Like, this is Fancy's vintage style. They contact their way onto a site. Neo goes in, gets sent to the dogs. He goes 1-for-1, but if they get an early plant and catch the defense out of position, you simply can't retake. Physio's sitting in the backside of spawn, controlling the rotations. Now Go's looking for a little bit more as well, and he's taking more guns away from Trinity. Batek, the last one up here, clutches his Vandal and holds on to it, but that's where the good news ends for Trinity. That is a vintage Fancy round where they just set up a very quick post plant. Physio holds down the flank, has a star on that spike. Fragment goes down, salvos go down, and all of a sudden Trinity just simply has no time to complete a retake.
Yeah, Fancy already offering us a little bit more of a competitive look at this map early on in the piece than what we had kind of seen for map 1 and map 2. 2-2, as close of a scoreline as it has basically been.
Knife reveals, yes I can. Decoy goes looking for a pick, and Tailwind's back away. Gets himself a second helping though. Knows he has the one way to play with and wrestles control of that line back. Twilight spots out the only rifle of Bad Tank inside of elbow. It's a very hands-off approach early on here for Fancy. They're looking for opening kills. And that's exactly what Neo will find. Decoy continues to play as aggressively as we'd want him to on this defensive side, but without the punching power of a proper gun. And without really access to an operator early on in this game, I mean, he won't have one next round either. The money's not good enough for Trinity. His success has been pretty limited.
There's not really any defense happening here over on A either. It's Fancy theoretically just be able to walk their way in, maybe have to find their way past Santnas, who actually does put the wall up as the orb falls in A main, but it's too little too late. It really is just not going to stop Fancy. We sort of saw that as well over on Haven. They're not going to shy away from just pushing through onto sites that they want to get on. We saw a number of times on the C side pushing through Viper util. They don't care. They're happy to take the fights. And that's working out really nicely for them.
I'm a little bit concerned about Trinity, because Fancy, this is them in the driver's seat well and truly. Money is looking fantastic on this attacking side, despite the fact that, early on, the Eco did a lot of damage to Trinity, and I think that is kind of bearing its fruit here for Fancy United, even if they didn't get that round win done on the Eco, and Trinity got the start 2-0. Not in the fashion they would have wanted, unfortunately. And I was talking about it coming into Breeze. The fact that Trinity, after losing to Jade Lion, swapped up their approach and swapped up their comp to double E away from the double duelist that they played in that generally aggressive style that they like to go for. And the reason why that's so pertinent and that's so important here is because Fancy is playing the style that they're used to, and they're executing it well and finding success, whereas Trinity have recently swapped back away from what they're used to doing. Even if it is only one agent different, it makes a big difference in the comp. And so far, it's just not looking like it's clicking yet as this A split starts to come in for Fancy.
Good space already starting to be taken. Sure is on Santnas, and he doesn't know where to look. That is clear who will be able to double down with the help of Yes I Can. So, Fancy, like you say, Filthy, I think
Spike
are starting to
planted.
make for a bit of a concerning prospect here for Trinity. These last couple of rounds have looked pretty good. Trinity are going to
You
try to
cannot go
retake.
for this retake. You cannot go for this retake. You have to save this op.
Yeah, that's smoke
Like
going up.
this round was already over. It was already over. You've got a pit, you've got a reckoning to play with. Like, you cannot continue this downward spiral as Trinity. The money is fantastic for Fancy United. You know, extra guns taken away. It's not really much of a muchness at this point. You need to maximize your gun rounds here as Trinity and try to get as many defensive rounds as you can possibly get, because you're not resetting this attacking side economy anytime soon. If they threw away their guns going into that retake, I dare say that this game would be long gone, and it's already not looking good as it is.
Yeah. Once again, maybe that sort of streaky inconsistency coming to bite Trinity. I suppose that it can sometimes be their biggest asset. You know, that's where I think you see the big upsets happen. They can put together a few maps that they just play like they did on Fracture. But on the other side of that coin, you have series that look like this one where, you know, you have a super solid map, then you get a bit obliterated on the second map, and now map 3, I mean, jury's still out, obviously, but 4 in a row for Fancy. It's definitely starting to look like this might be another map that Fancy can put away. Timeout's been forced, obviously, by Trinity, who are kind of feeling the pressure at the moment.
And look, this might have been 1 or 2 agent swap for Trinity overall here on Breeze, but it's also a big role shuffle for the rest of the team. The only players that are on the same agents that they did play previously on this map is Batank on the Sova and Decoy on the Jet. Dicky's had to swap from Omen to KO. Satnus, a player that we see often in an aggressive role or a secondary duelist, is someone that can have a lot of impact on Trinity, is on bloody Harbor duty. And then you got 140. I mean, he's fine. He's just going from Astra to Viper. It's not a massive change. I'm sure it's something that's well and truly within his wheelhouse, but it is still an agent change. But we've seen this in Pacific. We've seen this from higher level teams where they put a very high fragging player, a very impactful player on something like a Harbor that has to play within the system, and you don't get the same level of impact. And at that point, you have to kind of look at the rest of the team and say, where's the fragging going to come from?
Santnas, hopefully, in this round.
With a stinger?
Well, who else is it going to be?
I mean, Dicky.
It's nobody at this point. Space. Oh, yeah, it is going to be nobody. Space taken by Fancy. Nia and
Bro.
Twilight bang a couple of heads off.
What is Nia doing? That's the second round in a row where he's just sprinted into A and one-tap someone in the most ludicrous fashion. And it's Groundhog Day for Trinity, bro. Double entry into A. The operator's forced into a retake again. They're just insta-saving. This is crazy.
It's tough to play against if you're Trinity, that's for sure.
Poison toxins going up.
Just getting your head banged off.
It's like you're
Also
playing a
have a
ranked
timeout
game
too.
where, like, A is just a leak, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm retaking A again. Oh, I'm saving. Well, this round's
Yeah.
unwinnable.
Yeah.
The enemy Neon just one-tap 2 people. It's over. Except a little bit of different stakes here for a Trinity who, if they get knocked out, will be any hope for Mongolia at having some representation in Tier 1, unfortunately, being falling to the wayside. On 37 health, Nia does this. What is that? That is disgusting, man. Here we go again, round 8 for Trinity. This time they've gone, well, A is a leak. Let's put the operator there and see if that helps.
I mean, you got to try something, right? Like, you got to keep giving it a crack, but eventually you'll start to feel like you're just trying for the sake of trying, not trying for the sake of success. We'll see. Nia aware now that there is an operator out there. Yes, I can. Gets the first opener onto Batting. Overdrive is going to be ripped here by Nia. Doesn't even seem too necessary. All the frags coming from elsewhere. But space being created by Fancy and frags coming through as well. It's a foregone conclusion again here as A side again will be taken.
Oh, bro, this is disgusting, man. They're just getting one tap through smokes every round. I mean, I knew it was a two. I know it was a 2-on-5 at that point, but fucking hell, man, this is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
Like, this is just untenable. 140 goes 1 for 1. 6 and 2 for Fancy. And look, unfortunately for Trinity, like, it just doesn't feel like they've got a good